That's interesting. All right. Go live horizontal and vertical content at the same time. Not sure how that works yet. We'll find out eventually. All right, we're pretty much going live everywhere now. All right, so yeah, let me just get a few more people in here and then we'll talk about the market. See if we can gain any insight. Short it? Well, I mean, it just depends on, maybe if it got back up to the 200 moving average. Think about Blink. Yeah. But at low prices, shorting can be very dangerous. You're much better shorting at $30 and above. So, late to the program. Because it's very easy for something to go from, I think it's at $5.80, to go from there to $7. And you would have lost 30% of your position. But if it was at $30, it has more runway to the downside. And also, if it goes up to, say, 30, even $37, what's that change? Okay, well, that's 23%, but anyway, it's less. The magnitude of moves are better, safer. Don't short at low prices, with rare exception. All right. I believe, yep, we're live everywhere. Okay, let's go over to the cues, which would be here. No, yes. There. Okay. So what I think is fascinating this morning is that box that I drew back in July and extended it to the end of the year. Came true almost nearly exactly as I said it would. We talked about a kind of W formation, and sometimes those W formations can be like a triple W. That's, the zigzags. There's still a W in there, but a W formation that would come up the right side. I expected price to reject off of the top at some point and then come back down these, the last, not this last week, but the prior 2 weeks, and then move up to about where we are right now, and then break out and run through to the end of the year. So we've actually got that earlier than expected. By the whole thing was a little bit even more compacted. But I've said this many times, is that I'm almost always right with the pattern, but it's very hard to get the timing right. I'm almost always wrong on the timing. Can't be perfect, but that's pretty damn good. You got to admit it. I mean, that's exactly the shape that I was expecting. Is there a scraggly W base, a return to highs in December, a rejection and pullback after testing that, maybe even a fake out, and then last few weeks of the year rally back up and out and over and through New Year's Eve until January is new highs. So pretty good. So now, last week we continued the rally. If you were to look at everything on a weekly chart, let's go over to the weekly. you can see that the last couple of weeks have been extraordinary, really. And if you look at where we're sitting on prior highs from November of 2021, we're almost there. We're basically going to break out the next positive week we have. If this is that week, great. I mean, that's a breakout to, I believe, new all-time highs. So this is typical because what's beautiful about the whole resetting, the bear market, and then the whole Fed cycle, the debt side, all that stuff. What's great about it is that now here we are at this moment where we're about to break to new all-time highs, but the economic cycle and the business cycle is now just beginning. It's now just getting started, And so that means, you see something like this. If I push this over on the TikTok, something like this last run that we had in 2020 and 2021, something like that, for 2024 and 2025 and forward. Of course, it'll have its moments, but a bull market is a bull market. It's economically driven. It's to derail the entire macroeconomic cycle would require, huge cataclysmic change. Yeah, we're in it. We're in the Santa Claus rally. But I think that we're extended, but don't ever underestimate or become a contrarian on a bull market. This has been a very strong bull market. The last a run of, I forget what it was, 22 days, just about damn near straight up, was historic, and that was in November. And okay, I know that we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row just now out of the bottom of the pullback base that we were just in. But nobody's to say that it can't continue another 15 days. That would be 3 weeks. I mean, like I said, during this pullback back here, we're just getting started. We're 1/3 of the way through this rally, So, but you do have to take it day by day. You never really truly know how things are going to go. But if there's one thing that's the best indicator of how things are going and where you want to focus your skills, it's in reading the market. Just watching the market. It's you don't have to get to my level of being able to predict the next 6-month pattern, but you need to be able to know what is going on. You need to know what pattern is transpired, what patterns have transpired, what patterns are transpiring. You don't necessarily need to know what pattern's coming in the future. You don't, because the patterns are telling you already sort of what's happening, and you need to be able to look at that and read that and understand that. There's no way in hell you're going to get there in your lifetime by just watching the market every day. You have to go back and study all the charts of the market for the last 100 years, and you have to look at all the rallies, you have to look at all the bases, you have to look at all of the pullbacks, you have to look at all the Fed rate hike moments, the everything that's in there, because you don't want to wait your whole lifetime or 15 years to learn how one thing happens again. So but you do need to know, and you can only know what's going on in the market by studying the prior market moves. All right, we got 4 minutes till the market opens, and we're watching ICCT, EDU, ARKT, BMRA, and of course we're watching the market. And what can we expect from the market today? I mean, it's sitting at a decent spot already, so I would think that there's really nothing too alarming going on. Let me take a quick look at this week's big economic events. We've got building permits tomorrow and housing starts, so that'll be something interesting. And then Thursday, GDP. Thursday is GDP growth, and that will be moving the market. and then Friday PCE and personal income. But mostly Thursday morning, GDP growth rate, final results. And it will probably, be positive. The market, this going up to that, will tell you what it's going to be because the market is the only forecasting device there is. There's no indicator more forward forecasting than the market. The automotive industry, yeah, I'd have to take a look at that. But like if we just go to Ford, I don't know, maybe that's somewhat indicative. Well, Ford with the full reclaim on I guess the strike, and then it's at really great prices still, $12. And then Tesla, a little bit under pressure, continued under pressure, but looks like it's coming out now, and had a sort of bullish skewed flag that it was putting in. All right, we've got 1 minute and 15 seconds till the market opens. Let's see, Bob, Carl, Daniel, Darius. If any of you are doing any spreads, then Monday is one of the best days to put them on. So I'll be working hard all day allocating capital into new spreads to make easy money. All right, 30 seconds to the open. If there's any opportunity out there, it's probably on Edu for a swing trade, as I mentioned before. Yeah, both. But I mean, you'd probably want to favor put spreads, Fabian, in the bull market. I mean, yeah. All right out of the gate, we're bleeding. Edu's pulled back a little bit, about 20% on the reclaim since Friday. ICCT is potentially about to break out. That'd be for an intraday day trading. ICCT possibly about to break out of an inner pit cheat pivot. Woo, and there it goes. ICCT. Wow. Insane. That was it. You got to act fast. I mean, when you're a day trader, Edu with a just about with an entry. I would probably wait until 79.25 for a signaled entry on that. The Q's flying now. The market, S&P 500 and the Q's just flying. Yeah, ICCT broke that pivot at 274 and then bam, went right to 308. ICCT just hit 310, 320. ICCT is going insane. That's for day traders. Yeah, Edu couldn't make it up over 79.25. I think I'd wait for that. The market doing well. Okay, now Edu's fading. Yeah. we're getting some appreciation in rates and also energy markets. So I think that's going to put pressure on the market, as a matter of fact, here. And I wouldn't be surprised if we go red today, based on those two factors, rates and energy. Beyond BYND is just one of those wonderful stock opportunities right now for people who sell options. It's like just everything's right about it. All right, ICCT starting to come back up. BMRA broke inner pivot just now. BMRA, that's for a day trade. Edu's not putting in a signal for the swing trade. Edu's no signal. The Q staying strong and elevated. So high tight flag. I'm still concerned about the fact that rates are still moving up and energy is still inflating. Bitcoin, meanwhile, is pushing up as well. Oh, everything working. Hi, Mikey. This one, what was it? ARQT. That is also flying over entry very strongly. Most every stock we had in our radar this morning is doing well. ICCT for a day trade, ARQT for a day trade, BMRA for a day trade. They've at least all signaled. Now, Edu for a swing trade, it's inching up. It's actually almost there now for a signal. Edu, if it can just get up above, I'd like to see it up above 79.25. And certainly 79.35. Looking at what's hot out of the open, we've got MSTR, which is Bitcoin related, crypto related. MSTR. Let's see where it sits on the daily chart. Kind of right in the middle of a range of a consolidation. BTC USD. Let's look at Bitcoin. The Qs continuing. Can't see how rates could and energy could hold their bullishness while the Qs and the S&P 500 are moving the way they are. And yet it is. And so I think that's going to add some pressure to this extended move on the market. Yeah, although Bitcoin is showing some price improvement, it's a very interesting sneak entry, but only if it can hold by the end of the day. It's a red dog reclaim entry on the daily chart on Bitcoin. It's a very nice sneak entry, which almost always works, but it needs to hold up as a signal by the end of the day. But you could get a partial entry here, or you could just go for it and manage it. And then if by the end of the day it's held up, stay in. But this could definitely be the last best price at this price for this week, for example. And you could be seeing Bitcoin testing 45,000 in a couple of days, and right now it's at 41,000. So maybe that's not that big of a trade, but good to know. Other things that are up out of the gate, ALGN. So I'll switch over to that in just a second. Align Technology, ALGN. And they've been reversing off of the bottom off of a bad ER report for about 2 months now. And 4 trading days ago, they had a significant little breakout of their base, which resulted in a gap open up 3 days ago. And they're consolidating, and this is getting close to an entry signal at 263. Let's see. High 260. Yeah, 262.75 could be an entry signal for ALGN. 1 second. Kids. So anyway, other opportunities that are moving from the open here. Monday, MNDY. Let's take a look at their chart. So from an educational standpoint, for you to be able to know whether or not it's worthwhile to get in something at a very inactive moment, like how can you know? Well, it's because you're not getting in that moment the first time the stock has shown something incredible is going on. You may be able to do that using certain other techniques that we use for those moments where it is the first day in the last years where the stock is doing something hype. But that is not the situation when you're looking for secondary, well, third type of entries where you're trying to get into a stock at a good signal point, but perhaps an early signal point at least, or a good signal point such as a breakout. But you'd have to already know that the stock is worthwhile getting into, because how can you know it's going to go way up? You can't know that unless you can get that information from somewhere. And where can you get that information? Well, like for instance, on this one, Monday, you can see that it moved off of the lows, and in less than 1 month, and in fact, in just 12 days, did about 20% return. And that's what you're looking for, is a minimum of a 20%-ish move in less than 30 real days, or 21 trading days. If something exhibits that characteristic, that's new behavior, and that behavior is what you're going to make money on. Then it goes into some kind of consolidation, and that's the beautiful part. So, a lot of, beginning traders are listening to everybody going, holy fuck, this stock's going through the roof, and, then they get in, and they're either in mid move or at the end of the move, and then they lose money, or they don't make as much money as the experienced traders. The experienced traders find those same stocks before they're doing anything that anyone notices. And they get in at the proper sort of secret signal points, such as what I said, red dog reclaim or a reclaim, or a breakout, or an inner pivot break, or a consolidation breakout. And, from there, you expect the stock to then continue to make a second move like it did originally, which in this case was 20% in how many days? 20% in 12 days, Oh, no, it's 40%, by the way, guys. For this particular one, it's 40%, but the minimum criteria is 20%. So 40% in 8 trading days. So, you're hoping for something like that. Sometimes it even comes more. So every time we're looking at, these stocks like, let's look at Wingstop or something. But even the market itself right now is exhibiting that. Like if you just go over to the QQQ. Oh, but this Wingstop one is a really good example. I'll show you in just 1 second. Let's pull up the QQQ. So what we have on the QQQ is that huge move off the bottom to the top of where it stopped moving and started petering out and going sideways. We are able to look back several weeks later down here and see that this thing, this ticker that has been consolidating and going sideways, is something that made a large move in a short amount of time previous to that. And so, so long as we're in a bull market overall, then we're going to get some kind of continuation on that once any kind of entry can be had in that base, coming out of that base or in that base. And so we had, smart cheat entries on the market right back here, as well as breakout entries. We had all kinds of entries on the right side of the bottom there, including that reclaim day. That's a very specialized advanced entry. And then, continues, right? Well, look at Wingstop. That's a good example. Let's go back over there. Let me get my drawing tools up in the membership group. Where's the tools? They're there. Okay. So you had this strong initial move. For TikTok, I'll put that like this. But then I got to take it off because it's getting in the way. Up to this level. Okay. And so now for you guys, I'm talking about from basically here, but it could even be thought of as, it's the earnings catalyst day right here. And it had a strong move from here to here and then consolidated. The initial strong move was probably right even to there from here. Now, if we measure that, let's take a look. Let's measure that. That's 10%, just that little move right there. All the way to the top of consolidation is 17%. But the way you really measure it is from the last pivot low to that high. And that's 20.23% in 7 trading days or 11 real days. It then goes sideways. And all you should be doing on this stock, which is doing nothing at that time, is licking your chops. You should not be excited to catch this move, to go from here to there, to make that 20%, and then be sad during this pullback that you missed it, because that's not the setup. That's not the trade you can take. There's no way you could take that. How could you know that? That's the past. But you use that information in order to then get this cheat entry right here on something that had the power to move 20% in 7 days. Anything that can move 20% roughly in less than 30 days roughly is worthwhile for potential continuation, especially if it's broken a bottom. So that prior move was something that reversed it out of a bottoming area that it may have been in for a long time, and in this case it did. You know, it took it right out of a bottom. So that's a bottom reversal. And now you can see, if you had gotten in there, you could have rode this whole trade probably along the gamma or the 20 or even the 5. And then you didn't, I mean, if you didn't get out on this red candle, you'd still be in, but basically it's tipping over and slowing down. So anywhere up here around 250, I think 250 would have been a good target to take it off, but you didn't even necessarily have to. You could have been just taking little teeny pieces off. And of course, during the first 5 days, you take the most off. And as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it paused. That's an excellent, advice to always be getting rid of 50% of your, targeting your goal is getting rid of 50% of your position in the first 5 days of your trade. When it comes to these swing trades, growth swing trades. And you ride that along, and what would you have gotten out of it? Let's see. So your entry could have been here, and your exit something like 250, we were saying, which is right about, where's the price level? Does not show me that. Yeah, 250. That's 21% in 19 trading days, which is really great in growth trading. That's exactly what to be expected, and usually exactly where it takes a pit stop for a few weeks. 20%. But some stocks obviously can do even better. They can do 100%, 50%, 150%. But that's how I can know. That's how you can know. That's how I know when I'm looking at something that looks like nothing's going on, and I'm saying this looks fantastic, and yet nothing's going on. It's because it's of the opportunity, the possibility of continuation. That's where you make the money, is on the possibility of continuation. You're not making money on something that's hot as fuck. Like if you go in, like what, ANF or something. Well, even this one, how do I clear this? There we go. Even this one, Wingstop, you're looking at it going, wow, and you could probably be dumb and actually trade this well by getting in now. And then it would probably, you'd hold it for a week or two, and then you get continuation. And then you think you're an evil genius. But in fact, this is not the reason why you get in now. There's no signal right now on Wingstop. It's still consolidating, had that high volume top that it put in. The moving averages are crunching. And it's been in this 250 area for about 2 weeks now. I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons why it'd be a waste of money for you to get in right now. Ideally, you'd want to see a Wingstop kind of fade a little bit and create a little bit of a base, and then it might be a nice entry in a couple of weeks. However, there'd be a solid, get in or shit or get off the pot kind of moment if it were to break the high, $253.75. If that could happen today on high volume, you never know when that's going to happen, right? And that could supersede any kind of waiting for a little cheat entry here or there. So, I have a whole list here, for those of you watching the 4K stream. I have a whole list here. These are all stocks right here. Look at this list right here. Let's see. Maybe I have to point it out to you guys. Draw a rectangle, pink. Right here, that particular list, if you look carefully at the name of it, it's a little bit truncated, but it says these are stocks that have made a 20% or more move in 1 month sometime in the last 6 months, or I think the last 3 months is what I have it set it to, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months. And it also merges that with a second list of stocks that in the last 2 months may have made a move of greater than 30%. So it's like those are all those stocks that have exhibited a hot behavior, a hot new behavior that is worthwhile looking for continuation on. And then this list is sorted by how well are those stocks behaving today from their open. But they're all good. Like I could go to something that's down on here probably, and the chart will potentially be interesting and useful and something to track, and could even be an entry. So I go to the bottom one, which says it's down 3.5% today, and that's PAC. In fact, some of those provide, pullback entries or things to watch for later. See, look at this one. It made a huge move a couple of days ago. It's come off the bottom. That was a bottom reversal move. Let me show the TikTok people. PAC made a bottom reversal move that filled the gap and came up and over the 200 moving average all in one day. I mean, there's so many reasons to get into this PAC on December 14th, which was, I think, Thursday. And now it's on the list as the worst performing of the list, but you have to understand the list. The list is just showing me all those hot stocks and how they're doing off of the open today. And as you can see, a pullback on this stock is something that, should get your chops salivating. And, what you could do is set an alert line either at the top of that or maybe at an angle. And in a few more days, you might be able to see the way it's curving and behaving a better entry. But for now, you draw that and then you add a little alert on there. And now you'll see a little alarm come up on that. Chart alerts are excellent ways for you to, keep on top of opportunities that aren't signaling, and especially for cheat entries. And as a TradingView, and also Thinkorswim does chart alerts, but TradingView also does chart alerts. TradingView can be a pricey platform these days. But TradingView Thinkorswim is free. However, I don't know if you can even get Thinkorswim anymore now that they've been bought by Schwab. Who knows? Maybe we're the lucky, proud legacy users now. I'm never letting it go. I'm going to, the minute they say that I can't use it anymore, I'm going to complain and I'm going to get some special exception. I'm never letting it go. But anyway, there's a lot of things. Duolingo's on there, EPAM, Team, Pod, PanW, Melly, Avgo, AMR, Snow, Deck. I mean, these are names that should just all be hot, on your hot list. Monday, Fingu, FNGU, that's the FANG stocks leveraged. And then ALGN, we were just looking at that. Avgo, AMR, Snow, Deck, MedP, Boeing, AMT, Ulta, Zscaler, DDS, Dillard's, Watt, INSP, CrowdStrike, Globe. I mean, the names on this list are the most important stocks right now. You might not love them or know them, but they're each something that's going to be something you wish you did love and know about in 5 years. these, or a year, these are the new growth story stocks that are the top of the heap, coming off of this new bull market that's kicking off. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Let's move into the group and keep communicating in there and keeping each other abreast of these opportunities. And of course, I'll have alerts at the end of the day in the group, in my alert channel. And for those of you out there on different platforms or whatnot, if you'd like to come into our group, just click the link tree or the whatever it is link there that you might have on your particular platform to get more information on all kinds of stuff, like what are my favorite trading books, and all my videos. And you can just click the link and get all kinds of great resources to check into. All right, you guys, let's see where this goes. Monday is in effect.